Alright, game number 2 here in the HoN Tour Season 2 Playoffs Group A between NK and DRE, also known as BWA, Brothers of Attitude, or Straight Outta Compton. They seem to have changed their name at some point. Actually, much like NK, of course taking over that spot from TMSR, so you can really consider both of these teams as squads that have apparently futzed around a bit with what they want to call themselves, at least BWA over there. Probably, I'm guessing, mostly the same players, I don't know. And certainly their team name is in a similar theme. Apparently all gangsters over there. And game 1 is over. I do tend not to spoil because these are replay casts, so I don't know if for some reason you're watching game 2. But game 1 is up as usual. And things are finally moving with some speed now, so let's move into the bans. Grinix and Tundra here for the Hellborn side. Tankafet banning those two heroes out, not wanting to deal with the very annoying Suicide Grinix, or the Tundra apparently, which is making a bit of a comeback. Of course, last game he chose to ban out Gauntlet, which is once again an interesting ban. Usually you don't see Tundra or Gauntlet in that first stage of bans. I don't know if these Hellborn or Legion side players are notorious for running those players or heroes, or if Tankafet's just banning out heroes he doesn't want to deal with. But nonetheless, he takes both of them out. Keeper of the Fortune Parasite removed by the Legion side, but Ophelia unaddressed, and they will first pick that Pestilence, which leaves O for Tankafet once again. Of course, MK playing at Ophelia last game. And following that, pick up with a Gauntlet. Of course, the initial ban in last game. So apparently choosing, or believing, I suppose, that Gauntlet is a valuable hero and he is dangerous, and we'll pick him if we get the chance, but we're not going to use our first pick on him. And considering how often Ophelia has been banned out, I think the general consensus now is if you can first pick that Ophelia, you do it. I am less convinced she's an automatic first pick. I think there are plenty of other heroes that deserve to be right up there with her, but certainly the feeling among the competitive scene is that she is that good. And we haven't seen her that much, actually, just because she has been banned out so consistently. But Legion side now finishing off their selections with Pestilence, Rhapsody, and Tempest. So last game, of course, they were in that Temper Keepus combination. This time they'll have Rhapsody and Tempest with some strong pushing power. Not quite as powerful as Keeper Rhapsody, in my opinion, or really Keeper Tempest for that matter. But Rhapsody and Tempest, of course, that dance lure, always a strong pushing tool, and the Tempest Elementals will do plenty of damage to both creep players and towers. So two heroes there that are aggressive and should play fairly well together. Of course, Pesty Rhapsody is a very strong middle lane, so lots of synergy over here on the Legion side. Picking strong heroes and heroes that work well together, that's always a sign of good draft, is when you've got a guy that can get a well-rounded team and heroes that will work well together, and certainly it looks like we've got that so far here on the Legion side. Very well put together. NK is in a pretty similar vein. A little less team fight for them, a little more gank potential, so there does have some decent team fight ability, but not that much, of course. Poison Burst taking too long to do its damage, really, to be considered a strong team fight ability unless it goes off way early or team fights go very long. So as long as people can sort of run away from that and then not get Poison Sprayed or get the toxicity, because of course that ultimate is non-lethal. So there's ultimate does do quite a bit of damage in team fights, but not really that big an AoE ability. Norris Blessing and Ophelia is certainly a team fight ability, but the Gauntlet Blast also not so much. So strong gank here with Gauntlet and Ophelia, so they're adding a little bit of that as well, and we'll see where they go with those selections and their team composition. Probably still looking for a short laner. They could run him so they're in that role for that matter, actually, so maybe they're not, but it's potentially he could always be run as a support as well. Legion side definitely looking for a short laner as well as a Suicide. It's almost certain they won't run that Pesty in the long lane with Rhapsody. I don't think I've ever seen that before, and there's really no reason to do it. It doesn't seem like it's a great idea. So Hellborn side, banning out Madman, Wretched Hag, and Drunken Master. So it's three heroes with some Suicide potential there. Certainly addressing the weakness of this Legion side so far, not having the Suicide, of course. They don't have a Suicide either. So Legion side bans out Bubbles, Engineer, and Pyromancer, of course, two supports. Figuring they're going to run that Slither as a farmer, which is fairly likely, and that they're going to be therefore looking for a support hero and a Suicide. So Kraken picked up here for the Legion side. I'm guessing that's going to be a Suicide Kraken. There isn't too much left in this Suicide pool, as Bubble, Hag, Drunken Master, Grinix all taken out. We do still have old school heroes like Lodestone's available, Warbeast is still available, um, Pharaoh is on the board, so a few options to be sure. Maybe some uncommon suicides. Revenant actually works fairly well in that role. Midas we've seen that before. We've seen that do pretty well. And then of course the Hellborn side, sorry, does have the option really of running a dual lane aggressive. I would suspect that they won't do that just because Gauntlet's always run mid, but I think it's a little more viable for them than it is for Legion side. I just don't feel like Pesty has any business staying in the long lane, and Gauntlet could be a little interesting because even if he doesn't have lane control, that hook, if you land it, could grab you a kill or two. So we'll see what happens. Of course, Pyromancer banned out by the Legion side. He was taken fairly early by Tankafet on NK, so perhaps learning something from the previous game, going, yeah, okay, they like that Pyromancer, we're not going to let them have it. They respond with the Torture, similar AoE stun, and less burst damage than Pyromancer, but more AoE teamfight presence. So that's really going to address one of the weaknesses this NK team has, considering they don't have a lot of teamfight ability, especially compared to the Legion side now, adding that Kraken. Lots of teamfight for them. So we'll see what they're looking for. I suspect it's going to be a short laner. Moon Queen, Sandwraith, Gemini, Corrupted Disciple, even Chronos still available. So they have some options, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see one of those. I think out of all of them, perhaps Gemini might be the most viable because I suspect this is going to be a dual lane mid.
Corrupted Disciple.
So yeah, that's definitely going to be a hero down there that needs to be solo lane because the Pesty Rhapsody will be sent middle. You could also send them bot, but I think I'd prefer the mid Pesty Rap and the bot CD. So certainly not by decision, but there by any means, and that's pretty much going to guarantee the Kraken suicides. We've seen Jonas and Fame put up the suicide CD before, but I don't really feel like that's going to be a viable situation in this case. Not just because I don't feel like CD is a great suicide, but also because they've got the Ophelia in the jungle, and CD only has move speed, doesn't have the greatest escape mechanism. Corrupted Conduit can prevent right-click damage, but with the lockdown from Ophelia and probably Slither's toxicity doing a lot of damage on its own, it doesn't feel like that's the Corrupted Conduit, and the lack of a real escape mechanism is going to be in his favor. Of course, the Kraken has charge, so he can just run. And he's a really, really, really tanky. So I do expect that to be a suicide Kraken, and we'll see what the Legion decides. Chronos. So that's probably going to be a suicide Chronos. And we've seen it a few times actually now in Diamond Cycle 10. It has met with some success. That's definitely be suicide there. Zibe is the suicide player here for NK, so he's readied up on that Chronos, and that's going to be a suicide Chronos. Mid lane is probably going to be Gauntlet Torture, with Insania playing that support, of course. Tankafet's Ophelia in the jungle, and still they're in the short lane, so strong lanes for both sides, really. There's a little more late game here, I think, on the Hellborn. They've got still their Torture, Chronos, Gauntlet, Oath. That's a little more carry potential. On the other side, Kraken, CD, Pesty, Tempest, nothing to sneeze at. So I would give the late game to the Hellborn side, but just barely. Pushing game is certainly going to be won by the Legion team. They have the Tempest and the Rhapsody. Slither Words will help. Impalement from Torture will help. Ophelia push will help a little bit, but I think there's more consistent push coming out here from the Legion side. Electric Chide from CD will clean up creep wave, so we'll splash, and then of course Rhapsody Tempest just generally considered a very strong push team. That's not to say that Hellborn can't push, because like I said, they've got a bunch of pushing abilities, so both teams do have that. And it just feels like Legion maybe has a little more, although maybe not. I don't know, I'm sort of revising that opinion, and the more I look at it, I feel like the more Hellborn does have a lot of push, but we'll see. Of course, last game, Hellborn team, which is the Legion team now, had a ton of push with Keeper and Tempest, and they did not use it very effectively. So, I mean, they did use it effectively in the sense that they pushed out, but they also got pushed pretty hard. They were very timid, so we'll see if that becomes a problem for them once again. 5 heroes here grouped up in the Legion jungle, looking for somebody to come drop a ward here and get collapsed on. Torture hanging out, he's not going to do it. Chronos does not have a ward, so he won't be doing it. Actually, his Torch coming in from the side here. He has 2 wards. He's going to put a ward right here on the rune, so I'm sure they spotted that. but it is also going to prevent him from dying as he sees Rhapsody and Tempest just sitting here. Kraken headed top, past the mid with Rhapsody, Tempest in the jungle, and CD bot. So lanes for both teams generally quite predictable. Kronos is going to have a hell of a time down here, because CD's strategy is basically just going to be, I'm going to put the Corrupted Conduit on you and walk you down. And you're going to have to time leap away, because if you don't, there's a really good chance I'm going to kill you. And then there's the time leap on. Kronos does not have a significant mana pool, and he's going to be forced out of lane relatively quickly if CD plays this aggressively, and he absolutely should. And so far he's not. He does have that Corrupted Conduit first. He's putting a little harassment damage there, but don't even do that. Just be like, just put the Conduit on him and walk him down, take all his damage. Instead, Kronos is being allowed to get some last hits here, which is a pretty serious problem. Zibby should not be allowed to have this sort of CS at the beginning. So I don't know what CD's doing. I don't know why he feels like he can't just start walking on the Kronos, but apparently he can't. In mid, Torture and Rhapsody can do the harassers as Raph gets hooked in, and now she's dead.
It only hurts the first time.
Tons of damage coming out onto her. Torture and Impalement really not even necessary. Just the Gauntlet hook and the Infernal Instability managing to kill him very fast. As up on top, so there's losing lane control rapidly here thanks to double Archer lane. But Kraken forced to take a health pot, and Hero's forced to use his charge. So he still has one more, but of course not the largest mana pool either. And he has to be a little careful about how he uses it. Now he's totally also out of regen, so this is going to be a serious problem for Kraken. I mean, Haxor and the Slither should be able to completely box out Kraken if he just goes in there, puts the poison spray down, starts laying the toxicity auto attacks, and that's exactly what he's doing. So I love this play here, hitting him real hard. Now Kraken, yep, he's going to have to charge because otherwise he would have died. No regen, is going to go back to base. Bottom, meanwhile, Kronos finally getting boxed out with that Corrupted Conduit as CD is just chasing him down. And he's going to have to time leap away at some point. Doesn't want to get hit by Tempest. There's the time leap. Glacial Blast is not going to be in range as Tempest is not quite fast enough. Shoot up there on top. Slice and Dice getting picked off. So, spots him or something there as Haxorn just diving towers here and just taken down. Nice. I'm able to do that. So. Sorry about that. I was messing with something real fast. Had CD asking if he maxed rewind, which he did not. He just has 1 point, so I guess he's just been getting lucky. We saw some perhaps unsportsmanlike top coming out earlier, and Zibe continuing that, saying he's bad. And honestly, Zibe, I can't totally disagree. I don't understand why you haven't just been forced out of this lane. Apparently Ruwald was given a hero he did not want. Doesn't really make any excuses, I don't think, there, but hey. So 2-0 hero kill lead here for the Hellborn, and they turn into a 2k gold lead, 1k experience lead as Skabasons run through the middle. Not going to be much there, though. Kronos getting chased down, but there's no conduit on him. I really don't get this. Zibe's just like, yeah, I'm going to eat some harassment here, but I have a bottle. I don't care. And now I have boots. So Zibe's at 290 GPM. Corrupted Disciple at 164. Like, this is awful. There's a conduit, finally, and Zibe's now just going to break it. Like, fine, you want to do that? I'm going to run away. The charges are adding up here a bit. 8, 9, 10 charges. So full conduit there for CD. He's going to have lots of auto attack damage for the meantime. But it seems like that's what he should just be doing every time it's off cooldown. Do not let Zibe have anything here. Time Leap's going to come in actually as the conduit wears off. Electric Tide getting it off, but not doing too much damage as Zibe is a little too close. And Kronos now playing the aggressor. Sips that bottle. Tempest is coming in from the side, but is not going to gank as Kronos is a little too much health. So no more regen and speed. He's forced back to lane. I don't know, man. That's just doesn't make any sense. As Pessy gonna get hooked back in, and now he's in some trouble. Dance floor goes down, not gonna be enough. Flight is just giving him enough speed to get away. Regen rune pops though. There's the Inferno instability and a dead SD. As actually the regen rune continues to go off. We'll see if Gauntlet looks for a hook here. And yeah, this is a dead Rhapsody. Staccato stuns are on him, but he's gonna die. Chain reaction. There we go. Inferno stability.
Yes, the double!
Goes down, but Let's keep picking up a double tap in the middle. And just nothing to be done by Rhapsody. So Kronos now out-leveling this Corrupted Disciple, and if he gets him a little low, drops the Time Leap and a couple of auto attacks in the Chrono Field, and that's what he's going for now. He's just like, I'm going to walk you down. Time Leap away, break the conduit, eats the bottle, so it's all his health and mana back. And now he's going to come to the side, put some auto attacks down, wait for the Time Leap to come off. It's off in 3 seconds. And CD has to be real careful now. And that's where Kronos is, of course.
3 kills already?
Mid. Testy falls once again. Gauntlet blast and
3 kills already?
Now he's dead, so kind of stuff on the Gauntlet.
Massacre!
Hook actually back on Kroger, but that's not going to difference. Insania with the Impalement and a Hink Stream picking up a kill there. On bot, Tempest Elemental going, Elemental Boy going down, Newer Spawning already got popped, so Kronos is going to take some damage here, but he'll be fine. There's the Chrono Field. Didn't have a Time Leap quite yet. Slice and dice at the top falls. Oh look, there he is. And Tankovit sees him. Hacks for managing to get away. He will be ported back here. So low on health and mana, but the top tower is going to die.
The Hellborn have destroyed a Legion tower.
Torture, meanwhile, on bot looking for a kill on Kronos and might find it. Oh my god, there's the Impale.
Hot streak. That felt good, didn't it?
Wow. Support Torture picking off Kronos. Now, Tempest looking for some action too. He does not have an ultimate, so he won't be able to kill Torture even if he wanted to. Instead, choosing just to back off a little bit. Meanwhile, in the middle, Gauntlet taking a bunch of damage, but here comes Kronos. No Chrono Field, obviously, but he has a Time Leap available. Just going to do some damage here. Another Port coming in. Actually, Staccato Sun's on top of the Impale. Kronos might get in some trouble. Disciple coming inside, but Chain Reaction's onto 2. Kronos' ability pop, and Gauntlet's just going to be able to run away as CD's ultimate's going off, but nobody's in range taking damage from that. 8-0 hero kill advantage here for the Hellborn side. Bottle gets dropped, as it would be picked up. And Solar here looking for Tempest, takes the Glacial Blast stun, but that'll be it, and now Tempest is still in some trouble. So Solar choosing to run away, figuring the support's coming in, and indeed it is. It's 4 heroes from Legion's side coming down to make sure that Tempest survives, and he will. Just barely. Bot really going to be here. Will be protected a bit by Torture, and Pessy's coming in, so he's like, alright, I gotta grab that, sorry Gauntlet. But Gauntlet has a full bottle, so he doesn't care that much. Refreshment Rune grabbed up top by Kronos for his bottle. Kronos will be spotted out here by Kraken, who is level 6, has the release of Kraken up, so 3 heroes here for both sides. Of course, Hellborn taking the advantage considering they have 8 hero kills, and a lot more farm on the Legion side does. 446 on Solar, 400 on Gauntlet, 330 on Ophelia, 387 on Kronos. As he jumps in looking for a Chrono Field, will find Rhapsody here. Bugs go on him, but he doesn't really care. He's just looking for the initiation. Staccato stuns on the Kronos. There's the chain reaction. Down to Lisa Kraken jumps on Zive, so he will fall. Newer Plus coming out a little late maybe. As Seekers should look for some cleanup right here, and Ophelia is going to be the first target. Willport is making it back. Poison Burst and Poison Spray going off, and now Kronos is in a ton of trouble. Slides and Dice on the Kraken already. So does CD. Pestilence does not have an Impale, as the Minotaur's looking for a stop here. Chain reaction on the Tempest, and now Tempest is dead. Actually denied, well denied there by that Pestilence. But, Impalement from Insania going to come in and shot the Swing Tower. Or help finish off his own tower. As he takes some damage and decides to back off wisely. So everybody on the Hellborn side outperforming everybody on the Legion side, and Haxerin by himself responsible for the farm of 2.5 heroes. Or 3, depending if you count that Rhapsody. Rhapsody initiated on him, and there's going to be 1 stun. Poison Spray is going to hit. It did not, in fact. Now Kronos is in a little trouble, going to be able to get away. Actually, no, sorry, the Poison Spray did hit, but she put the Dance Sword down and ate a tree, so Rhapsody will be fine there. Nice charge from Kraken to save his buddy. And if he hadn't, certainly that would have been that. Invisible Torturer here, sitting on top of Corrupted Disciple, no word of rap, so I can't see anything. The bugs go out onto Kronos and Gauntlet. Sorry, no, just Gauntlet. Chain reactions there, I'm going to take Electric Time. Wow. Is an ultimate from? Yeah, ultimate from. As the Hellborn's courier actually gets killed by Legion, so that's good. Gauntlet blasting and killing CD. Poison Spray misses from Haxerin there, but it's poked into Rhapsody and gonna take the stun. She does die anyway. Influence ability onto Kraken there.
Triple kill.
Pestilence are gonna get locked up by everything. Puts the account, but not enough. 11 minutes in now, 15-2 hero kills in favor of the Hellborn team, and this is just game.
The Hellborn have destroyed a Legion tower.
So, Legion lost every lane, and obviously that's not going to result in good have fun times. Oh, apparently that's CC now. And Zibe falls, diving a little too deep there. Tower in some trouble. Gonna get locked down his Kraken and he will die.
Pinky, that felt good.
Coming out of Torture, but the ultimate from Tempest will catch 3. Torture will fall here. CD taking a bunch of damage from Poison. He'll die as well. Gauntlet Hook gonna miss Pesty. He'll put the Impel Stun. Gonna try to run away, but Tempest is in again.
Double tap.
Pesty will be able to run away here. On very little health. It's putting it down. Zippy actually buys out. Looking for a kill. There's Rhapsody dead. Pesty's over here trying to finish off Kronos, but now he's also caught in a bit of a rock and a hard place. Torrent coming out there, on top of the bugs, Gauntlet Blast onto Pestilence, and he's gonna fall.
That's 4. Nuance blessing.
Ophelia gonna make sure everybody's nice and topped off. As Hellborn now pushing base towers, because why not? Strider Zibby, yeah, that's true. And Hellborn apparently not interested in backing off here. They're just going to keep coming back in. Gauntlet Hook doing nothing to his own teammate. As the Impel Stun is busting creeps from Ophelia will help not the Impel Stun, the Impelment help kill his tower. Apparently Les QQ something maybe Swedish, I don't know. So this mid-base tower will fall to 9 and again. Nice for CD, that's 2, but he's gonna get hooked in and pay for that as there he goes. Glacial Blast is onto a Poison Spray there. There's Zippy with Rhapsody also in the fall.
Massacre!
Kraken in a ton of trouble here. As Kronos is diving over there for some reason, but Kraken is just nope. There's an
A freaking machine.
Kronos time leaping over the impalement, so that's not going to get him. He gets the bugs put on him. As Hellborn are just pushing in this mid-Rax, and we'll take it before the 15-minute mark even hits. Zibe has 4 bottles. Staccato stuns on him. Torture running away.
Serial killer!
It's going to be a kill on the Pestilence there. Gauntlet Blast onto Rhapsody. He's in trouble. What's the poison? A couple of auto attacks, of course. Zibe just suiciding at this point. Renting some damage actually, but still gets denied. So, Legion get the kill on Zibe, that's real nice.
Barracks has been destroyed.
But he bought back, and he's been actually in the wall. I expect to see about in 30 seconds. Corruptors are gonna get ported, but immediately die.
A
that wasn't
Legion
a great
barracks
plan.
has been destroyed.
And Hellborn just don't want to leave. Energizer popping there, running away a little bit. Impel's done hit nothing. Presty's dead. Kraken in some trouble. He's going to fall as the charge actually hits the building. Push book forward for Insania. He's got the chain reactions up and gonna miss it back, but doesn't matter because he's still dead. On
Double tap.
Tempest, Poison Spray hits Rhapsody. And that's genocide.
Massacre!
Play already
Genocide!
coming out and 2-0 CC. There it is. So BWA slash DRE here just get rolled in game 2. And very well played, of course, to the Hellborn side as they dismantle his opponents, who was, quite frankly, inferior. Some misplays by the side of Legion. Actually, nice charge through the Chrono Field. Zibbe dies. That's hilarious. At least the Kraken hits 2, and they don't care.
Unstoppable!
Corrupted Disciple dies once again. 1-7 and 2. 6 deaths, 7 deaths, 7 deaths, 9 deaths, 3 deaths. So Tempest staying alive. And for some reason, this game is still going. Push book in for Slither, but he's going to survive. Takes the torrent. Impel's down there from Pestilence, but now he's going to fall as well.
Hot streak.
Poison Spray hits him and Rhapsody. He's going to take a bunch of damage. Chronos again with the charge in, and Leslie is going to fall, but there is Kraken. Tries to get Kraken out actually. It's just going to go. Oh my god. Rap takes out
Genocide.
with those nice staccato stuns. Put the torrent here onto Kraken. Ophelia has no mains, doesn't even care. Chain reaction onto Kraken there, and he's gonna take a bunch of damage here. With the agonizing bonds. Nope, isn't gonna die. Ophelia isn't. Nice astrolabe and push book. Insania attacking a building there for some reason is now he's gonna die. Poison Spray is gonna hit Corrupted Disciple. Gauntlet hooks himself and Slither and Bugs on Gauntlet, but despite the Corrupted Conduit, I think CD is dead here. Yep, Hacksaw Poison finishes him off. Pestilence in a ton of trouble. Glacial Blast on a Gauntlet though, so he'll take some damage and probably fall here. Gauntlet Blast on the Kraken and Tempest. Tempest is still going to be frozen there, but eventually going to be unfrozen. And now going to have to run away. Gauntlet comes missing everything. He's still alive. Nice. Pesty point in is dead. These mini towers are just taking a ton of damage. Lots of buyout suits here by Hellborn. Kraken's the only one, Legion's not a spot out, but Insania out of buybacks. Hacksaw and Zibbe you already used to 1 to him.
The Hellborn have destroyed a Legion tower.
So lots of damage there. As Tempest falls first, Rhapsody, Kraken's next, then Rhapsody. Insania looking for something, he's not going to find it. Pestilence looking for Impel stun, also not going to even go for it as they're diving a well. Because why not? And this might end the old-fashioned way. CD can put some pretty serious damage on the Zibbe there as he has 5 bottles and
The
no
Hellborn have destroyed a
6
Legion
bottles.
tower.
6 bottles Zibbe build. Gauntlet Blast there, and Zibbe going to help take him out. Puzzle Box minions taking some damage. Pesty gets sucked back in, he's going to die. Gauntlet will fall as well. Impalement stun Impalement's going off as usual. She's taking a bunch of damage. 3 up here for the Legion side. Let's see how many will die. Kraken going to try to charge somebody and puts a sword on Ophelia plus the ultimate, but she's going to push Booker right over it now. Kraken's in a ton of trouble. Is going to fall. Trying to push Kronos into the well. Not going to happen in time. There goes Tempest as well. Rhapsody's still alive, not for long. Those bottles didn't help him there.
Defeat.
And there's the end. So,
Hellborn wins.
I mean, there's not much to say. The last maybe 8 minutes of that game were them were NK just taking a piss with their opponents, which is a little rude, I guess. But hey, who cares? Certainly, DRE got their money's worth. They didn't CC, made them play it through. But a pretty thorough stomping there by NK, and they will take game 2 and the